for tuning in. Hussein's Anxiety, Sales-is-marketing-for-you.com. Got a nice diagram for you to show you today and to talk to you about. And people love diagrams, especially something like this, because in the middle is obviously you, right? And that's the whole thing with sales and marketing for you. Sales and marketing for you, I might as well talk about that very quickly, because I'll admit, when I started Sales-is-marketing-for-you.com, separated by hyphens, it was for you as the visitor to my website. Here's some sales and marketing stuff for you. So basically, you come to my website, you read stuff, that's you. Along the way, I realized that the important you is you in apostrophe. It's the word you pertaining to your customer. Like Microsoft saying, where are you going today? Apple saying, think. Think. It's talking to you. They don't use the word you. It's kind of taking it to a next level. It's not really a next level. It's just basically talking to your customer, just like I'm talking to you, just like you talk to your best friend. If you basically diverge from that, if you basically move away from how you talk in real life to people, then what you're doing is the classic and crapped out sales and marketing. You're trying to put a spin or a polish or use like nice words and blah blah blah. Like for instance, today I'm going to be talking about integrated marketing communications. All it means is that everything about what you do should point to who you are in a sense, whether that you is you or your business. It's really simple. The way you dress, the cards you hand out, the product packaging, everything you do about your business is a reflection of you, and then that extends to your messaging, right? I might as well go there now that I'm talking about it. So you've got electronic messaging. You've got written, right? Could be electronic, I guess, email. I mean, these circles, I just put random stuff in here. On my website, I've got, obviously, verbal, written, electronic. This is physical evidence. This can be your restaurant, and you've got nice ambience there and stuff like this. This is sales. This is the real deal right here. This is you connecting with someone, right, in person. Eyeball to eyeball, as they say. For a time, I basically thought to myself, well, I mean, actually I'm back and forth with regards to, is it better to meet someone in person or not? Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, are you trying to sell, and does meeting people in person lead to more sales? If you're closing six-figure deals, probably yes is the answer. If you've got an automated website and people come to your website and they're clicking on your shopping cart or whatever, your shopping cart functionality and closing their own deals without any effort on your part, that's probably where you want to be, right? So, you know, it depends. There's a lot to be said about meeting someone in person and the body language and yada yada yada. I'll tell you what, honestly, right now, nowadays, I'm having the best time on Twitter. I'm talking to all kinds of people, from celebrities, and some are actually following me, like a handful. A guy like Gary Vaynerchuk. There's this actress called Jaina, I don't even know her damn name. She's got tens of thousands of followers. She looks like the lady in Underworld, and she follows me. Daniel Dennett, famous atheist in the world, follows me. I don't even know how these people found me half the time. But in any case, you know, Chris Brogan, one of the guys who I hero worship, who actually taught me how to use Twitter through his book, The Trust Agent, with Julian Smith. Listen to the audio CD of that thing, start putting it in practice, and one day I'm talking to him on Twitter. IMAX sends out this promoted tweet. I just love promoted tweet. It goes against the whole purpose of social media marketing, and that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is an interaction, whether it's online or in person or what have you. All of your interactions in integrated marketing, right? Integrated marketing communications. Communication is just throw that word out. Integrated marketing. And let's just throw out the marketing. Marketing is where it's at, and that's the granddaddy of everything I'm trying to do. Sales is a subset of marketing, but integrated is what you need to be. Integrated is what everything you do needs to be. Right? If you send out an email, it should sound like you. Hey there, Joe. How you doing? Just thought I'd send you a note and blah, blah, blah. If you stop by in person, you'll be like, hey, Joe. How you doing? Just thought I'd stop by, and here's something I picked up for you, and you know, let me know how your demo goes next week, or whatever. If you send out a sales guy, you better train him to be say the same things you're saying in your email. What are you going to say to the guy? And then you get into the technical points of it, okay? So I was talking about Julian Smith, Chris Brogan. I might send out this promoted tweet. You're using Twitter to gain followers in a grassroots fashion. It's not an advertising platform. You're not meant to be sending out promotions and tweets and all this kind of stuff. I might send out a promoted tweet, and worse, it says something like, hey, follow us for blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, listen, don't beg for followers. Rather, hire someone who knows about Twitter and ask them to help you out. And then I copied Chris Brogan, I copied Gary Vaynerchuk, I copied Joel Cohen, who wrote Twitter Power 2.0. And if you're trying to do anything on Twitter and you don't know some of these people, or if you're trying to do stuff on social media and you don't know some of these people, what about the Zen of social media marketing, Shama Kabani, at Shama on Twitter? Copy these people. Chris saw it, I guess. He got back to me. He did what you're meant to do on Twitter. He interacted with me, and I've told wife, I'm telling you, I'm really tickled pink about it, right? And that's the power of it. And now, Chris is out there in the Twitter world, and if someone I know is interested in Twitter, they'll come to me and they'll be like, who's that guy you talked about the other day? I'm like, Chris, oh wow, blah, blah, blah. And, so I kind of just tore IMAX a new one, and then Chris comes back and he's like, IMAX, great brand, lots of potential, but I don't do tweets for people. He's like blowing them off and stuff. And he's like, great brand. He kind of holds out a carrot in case anyone there is awake and at the wheel, which is not the case. And I was like, see, IMAX, this is what you're meant to be doing. Chris is a famous guy. I'd never met Chris at all before, by the way. He's a famous guy, and he's interacting with me, Joe, normal person, and I'm Gaga at the same time, but I'm explaining to them that's the whole power of it. You have a famous brand, and you have famous people, and you and me, dear viewer, get to go and interact with these people and share thoughts with them, and sometimes actually get back to you. Richard Dawkins, guy whose book I rebutted, he's a famous atheist. You might know who he is. Richard Dawkins, evolutionary biologist, Harvard or Oxford Don or some damn thing. Back in 76 or 79, he wrote The Selfish Gene. I've written a rebuttal to his book, The God Delusion. I've written a book called The No God Delusion. Every one of his chapters, whatever he's written, I've basically turned it backwards. And obviously all of the arguments that he has pertaining to the existence of God and so forth, I've tried to, going over on this, right? I've tried to subvert. I countered all of his arguments. I looked up all of his quotes, a lot of them out of context. Things about the founding fathers and how they were anti-religious. And he's got basically a quote of one of them lampooning or lambasting a clergyman. Clergymen are like this and they're like that. But the founding father was talking about English clergymen, the crown and the clergy that persecuted the founding fathers for their faith, and they came over here and founded America, right? Now, they were men of faith, and they were great men, and they sacrificed their lives and their families, and went through undue and untold of suffering. They lost their lands, and the English were in there and just killing people, and it's doing what powerful people do. I know this is a huge rant, and I've digressed, but I hope I've caught some of your interest, and I'll finish this thing off I'll finish this thing about integrated sales and marketing, or rather integrated marketing communications, because that's the keyword on Google that I chose to predicate this whole thing around, right? But Chris Brogan, IMAX, talking to people, very cool. So on Twitter, I'm having a lot of fun. Is going in person always the best thing? Well, once again, if you've got a big deal, yeah. And if you've got lots of money on the table, I think you probably want to send someone around there from time to time. And what else? What else? Communication. So you're here. You have a message. This is you or your business. Same thing, by the way. Listen, man, you can tell a lot about a person by his car, by his clothes, by his wife, by his house, everything about you says anything about you. Or rather, anything about you says everything about you. So if you talk funny, then what does that mean? Does that mean that there's something wrong with you? Well, let me put it this way. Let's say that when you speak, the person gets a sense that you don't know what you're talking about. If your customer gets the sense that you don't know what you're talking about when you're speaking to them, then you better believe that he is going to think that you don't know nothing about products, which is probably true. You don't know nothing about marketing, and you don't give a hoot about them and all this kind of stuff. Because if you don't know what you're talking about and you're pretending to put something on, you're being insincere, and you've lost the whole thing right there in terms of the trust factor. So in any case, my point is this, that You need to be integrated. Okay, so integrity, integral, wholeness, everything is complete, right? When I started studying integrated marketing, okay, probably don't need this pen at this point. When I started studying integrated marketing, dear viewer, and don't mind the jerky camera and all this kind of stuff, my whole thing is this. If you're out there and you see this, and you're interested in some flashy guy in the studio, that's great. Go find that guy, he probably doesn't know what he's talking about. Me, I do it ghetto style. I don't mind telling you, this is my like kitchen or whatever, right? And I just like work from home or wherever the hell I am. If I'm working for Oracle, I'll be working for Oracle at Redwood Shores or whatever. If I'm working for Computer Associates, I might be on Long Island somewhere or down in New York City, right? If I'm working as a consultant for myself and basically about to go on vacation for 2 months, then this is what you're going to get. I'm sorry, there's no three-piece suit here at home that I have available and ironed and all this nonsense and dry cleaned. So, integral. You as a person, if you're a clean person, your clothes are going to be clean. Your shoes are going to be clean, your car is going to be clean, etc. If you're a methodical person, you're going to be methodical in every area of your life. So if you're telling people I have a great product and it's the best thing since sliced bread, and then your shoelaces are untied or you've got coffee stains in your tie, all this kind of stuff, then what's the whole deal there? It's like Jeffrey Fox, speaking of the coffee stain thing, Jeffrey Fox, okay, the Rainmaker guy, how to be a rainmaker, you know, how to be a great CEO rainmaker and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. I read one of his books and I feel like I know the guy, right? Because he talked about things like a superstar sales guy, he doesn't take coffee in the car because he doesn't want to even open the door to the chance that he's going to spill some coffee on his tie, his expensive tie, or his polished shoes, or his beautiful gleaming $1,000 suit, and show up and botch months, or if not years, of planning and preparation on his part and his team's part because they're finally got 15 minutes with the CEO who's swinging by before jetting out to some, you know, godforsaken part of the world to do take care of some of his business, right? You got that one opportunity. He's like, I don't even go that far, man. I need my coffee. I'm going to drink my coffee. And by the way, I'll go to Sears and buy another tie if I need to. And I've done that. I was working for Computer Associates a few years ago, 2007 in Minneapolis. And I was a solution strategist. It's a technical sales guy. Huge 6-7 figure deals. And I'm just one silo there, you know, so we'd have an account director or an account manager. For instance, we had like Sprint out in Kansas City, Payless Shoes in Kansas City, or Monsanto in St. Louis, or Super Value in Minneapolis, and they had acquired Albertsons out in Idaho, and we'd be flying around and sending people around, spending tens of thousands of dollars on a deal, not post-sale but pre-sale, and it was great. It was great fun. Best Buy and Target in Minneapolis. Like our regional head, Michael Crest, great guy, humble, great guy, salt of the earth, $55 million deal at Target. You think he's not going to be the boss of a company with brains one day? Or at least in his area? Of course he is. Listen, you want a sales organization, then you promote sales guys. You want just some standard or substandard organization, then you promote guys who are smooth talkers and they dress nice and all this nonsense. Hey, you want sales? Then you do what creates sales. If you want integrated marketing, if you're interested in this thing, it's probably because you've heard about it. It might be a marketing research paper, but where I'm coming from and going to is the following. It starts with being an integrated person. The way I dress, everything down to my shoes and up to my head, whatever, is something that I'm communicating to the general public, right? Like, a person who sees me draws an impression from it. Thus, it is communicable. It's a communicable device, something along those lines. Your shop, your carpet, the paintings on your wall, your business cards, once again, all the stuff. And then things like, what are you saying to customers? How? Are you sending them these cheap cards, or are you actually sending them Hallmark cards? Are you sending them Vistaprint cards, or giving them a Vistaprint card where it says Vistaprint on the back? I mean, that doesn't really reflect good on you. Like, what kind of successful business guy are you, and you have the cheapest business cards in town, that kind of thing. Then you go to, what are you saying? And what are you saying is it should be the same in every channel. I got to use words like channel, otherwise you probably think